Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. And if you ever want to know anything more about me, make sure to stop by my blog at chrisscreativelife.com. Okay, so we are into the new month of Product of the Month. We're in the new month of Product of the Month. So now we have the January Product of the Month, which is called Fabulous Sayings, which is obviously a stamp set. Last week I came on and I did a card based off of the inspirational sketch that is currently the January Stampin' Up! Creative Challenge. So I made these two cards. They turned out so pretty. There we go. And so I thought I would come back and we're going to create something else today. So I'm going to add my desk in here. I am going to try and stay seated because I, on the weekend, slipped and did something to my back. And so it is not very much fun. But went to the doctor. She says, all good, just crazy tight. But so I'm going to try and stay seated as long as possible today. You guys all know that does not last very long. But I also wanted to show you my project for the Product of the Month bonus projects group. So I'm going to add my desk in here. I also have water on my desk today, like for a technique. And so we're going to see how that goes. I'm trying to keep it out of my way as it's like open water, not like my drink where I put my lid on it. Okay, so let's add my desk in here and let's take a look. Okay, it is winter, so things can get a little dark in here, but here we go. Okay, so these are the cards I created with the Stampin' Up! Sketch last week, and I think they turned out super cute and very different from each other, right? So if you missed that video and are interested, I will add the link to find it in the comments below. The easiest way always to find a video is to go to YouTube because it just makes it so much easier versus like if you're watching on Facebook, right? There's like so much other stuff in the way. So I said on this video last week, when I saw the stamp set, I got a little worried that I wouldn't be able to create a scrapbooking page with it, but I think I did pretty good. So as you know, I am among a group of, there's 12 of us all together, demonstrators, and we put together a tutorial. So I'm stacking up my ink so I can move my keyboard out of the way. Put together a tutorial for you, one tutorial each, for featuring the Product of the Month product. Ooh, that's a lot of Product of the Month product words. So like I said, this month is Fabulous Sayings. So when your cart in Canada reaches $100, you can add it to your cart for $5. And super versatile. I love the size of the stamps. You can see, right? They're all like nice size, like I showed this week, last week, that like this happy birthday goes like, it's like a fair size. It does actually fit across your card also this way, but I want to do it the long way. But kind of just like one of those like all around fun stamps to have. Like I think there's certain stamps that like you could pull out over and over again. And I love the fact that like part of it's handwriting and then part of it's typeset. You know me, I like it when they mix and match the fonts and fun stuff like that. Okay, so this is what this month's Product of the Month tutorial is. It's crazy. I actually printed it. It's 33 pages. So there are some fun projects in here. Most of them are cards. And then mine is a scrapbooking layout. I might come back and, oh wait, and there's actually a 3D project. There's this super fun frame, which I thought was kind of really neat. And the fun thing, right, is when it's not just like me, you get different perspectives on using the stamp of the month or whatever product it might be when there's a group of people. So I thought I would show you. This is my layout that I wrote the tutorial for, and it is in here. And I have to say, I love the end result. I love the way it turned out. And it's fun because there's actually a card that somebody else created that features the same products, right? Because when it's a stamp, like last month, everybody featured the same paper. So there was like a running theme, right? Because I think you saw the projects all looked like more cohesive because they all featured the same paper pack, versus this month it was a stamp. So I love the fact that like everybody picked different like sweets, collections, paper packs. There's some Valentine's Day themed pieces in here. Like I said, there's the 3D project. So if you spend $100 this month, you automatically get this tutorial for email to you from me. And if you cannot shop with me, it is available in my PDF shop. Okay, so I did this last month too, and you guys quite liked it. So I thought we would do it again. So there's always like featured artwork from the concept artists, right? And I like to play with that because I've always told you, like, my process when I start to design with something, no matter what it is to literally take it out of the package, play with it, right? I stamp it once to see how everything stamps because things look different when you stamp them. Speaking of stamping, there's some exciting stuff happening in February. Yeah, so if you have any questions about anything that you might have seen, people starting to sneak peek, if you type the word stamp in the comments, I will fill you in on the details. I will respond to your comment and let you know what is happening during the month of February. But anyway, so back to it. So I always like to start stamping and playing with the product. And so lots of times when you look at the artwork, it might not necessarily be something that would be exactly my style, but it is a fun jumping off point. So same thing I did last month. I took 2 pieces of like the artwork and we're going to put my own spin on it. So I'm going to show you. I took this card because I really quite liked it. I loved the stamping on the flower. So I switched out the papers, but I'm going to actually create this live. And then I did this one. And for whoever knows me knows I like the bright colors. I love the in colors this year. So I switched out the colors that they used on their project and went with the in colors. So I'm going to create these 2 cards with you right now. We're going to start with this one because there's watercoloring in the background, and it means that my water is here. See, this always makes me super nervous. An open vessel with a liquid in it, right? So I will show you what I have gathered here. Okay, so we have a basic white card base. Okay, standard card base. I also thought this would actually be a really pretty like top folding card, but that's not what I did. So we have a basic white card base, and then we have a piece of watercolor paper. And actually I was looking at it. I actually in the end ended up cutting this down. So I'm going to cut this one down too, because I did my watercoloring and then I looked at it and I thought it was too big on my card base. So I'm actually going to cut this down, which means I'm going to have to stand up. But anyway, so I wanted to add gold foil into this project. So I did bring in some gold foil. Let me just grab this because we can actually fit this one on the screen. Make sure to say hi as you jump on, or if you're watching the replay, say replay. Okay, so I did originally start with a piece that was 3 3/4 by 5, but let's see what I went down to. So we're going to do 3 1/4. So 3 1/4. This is for my sentiment here. By 4 1/2. So just because I literally don't know if I could stand up again, we are going to cut. No, I shouldn't do that. That's like too risky. Because then it'll end up crooked and then I'll be upset and, you know. So we're going to do it the right way. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go 4 1/2. Okay. There we go. And this like wash background is literally one of my favorite things to do on a card. Because all you're using is a little bit of ink, a little bit of water, and a little bit of watercolor paper. And it's super pretty. Okay, so for this card, the colors we have, right, are Cloud Cover, Old Olive, and Shy Shamrock. So our little wash in the background is going to be Shy Shamrock. Oh my goodness. You guys, I literally feel some days like I'm falling apart. Okay, so Shy Shamrock and our watercolor. Okay. It worked. So I don't have to stand up and get the re-inker. Okay, and then I have my water brush, and we have this nice fat one. And we're going to get our watercolor wet first. And I left the edges dry so my watercolor, my ink won't go there. See, and literally I feel like this technique, anybody can appear like an artist. Okay, and I wanted to do this first so we could let it dry. I do like to let watercolor dry as much as possible. So we will do our other stuff. Okay, so that was Shy Shamrock. You could also blot it, but it's actually very, very pretty in real life. You can push your ink around if you wanted it to be move around a little bit too. But we're just going to now set this up here. If I have to, I'll take my heat tool to it, but I would prefer not to, as I like the way that like it just dries. Okay, so then the flowers are from the Simply Beautiful dies. These would also be really pretty if you watercolored them. Oh my goodness, maybe we'll do that on a different video. But, oh, wouldn't they be really pretty? So you can layer these. So for the largest flower, there's 2 pieces, and the smaller flower has 2 pieces too. Then I cut my stamens from that gold foil, and the leaves are from the same set of dies. They actually would all be, oh no. Okay, remind me when I'm looking for it that the piece of Timid Tiger is on the floor. Okay, so I loved the little detail of the stamping, the subtle stamping in the background of the flowers. So we have cloud cover cardstock, right? And so the one thing that I did do, because I don't know if you can actually tell when you're looking at them, but I can tell that because it's a font that we're stamping with, right, which is the, oh here, right, literally right in front of me, the phrase "to a fabulous friend," right, because this is actually also what we're going to use on the front. Maybe I'll do that stamping first. So then I can clean it and we'll do the cloud cover on the flowers. So when I have to pick up this piece of Timotagger, or I feel like I'm going to roll my chair over top of it and see, there we go, I have to stand up already. So this piece is, I cut this one at 3/8 of an inch. So I just cut like a random size for this one and then trimmed it down. But this one, I cut at 3/8 of an inch, and it's obviously longer than I need. So we'll trim it out. But okay, so what I was starting to say about when I added the text to the flower, I wanted to make sure that when I put my flowers together, the text was all going in the same direction. So that if you could actually make out the letters, they weren't like all cattywonka, like they weren't, like you didn't have some font going this way and some going this way. So I decided how I wanted my flowers to be before I stamped them. So I'll show you what I mean. We're just going to clean this off because we're going to change colors. So I did the sentiment in Old Olive. It would also look really good heat embossed in gold. Okay, so when I need to close this up, or I'm going to use it by accident because we're moving to cloud cover now. Okay, so when I took my two flowers, I looked at them and decided how I wanted them to look in the end. So I know, so I'm going to do them the same as the one I did already, right? So if you look, this one is over top of this one like that. So that is actually how I'm also going to stamp them, right? So now I have my cloud cover. And I'm going to pull my two pieces apart, and I know I want them to go this direction. And I'm just making sure that I can actually bridge the two with some of my stamping. I just don't want the same word right on top of itself. If it was something else that wasn't like text that you could actually read, I wouldn't really worry so much about this step. But because you're going to be able to tell, well, I can, like I said, tell that there's words there, I feel like you might just like subconsciously even look at the text. And these flowers would be beautiful in all sorts of different colors, right? So some things I like to keep the same, and then some things I like to switch up. Okay, so we are going to have this with this on top. So now we have the little ones, and I did exactly the same thing. So for this one, I have this piece headed over that way. And then we'll go like that, right? So these two, I could probably actually stamp at the same time. The stamp will go across them. You could tack these down if you didn't want them to move. And then I'm just going to be conscious when I put them together that they go back together the same way. Okay, so we're going to put those two together like that. And then we have these last two. And we'll do it something like, because I don't want them to look exactly the same. So I'm going to put this big bump at the top. That's good enough. Okay, so I'm going to close this up, and I'm just going to quickly wipe my surface because I've got now cloud cover ink. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. Ooh, we're getting there. So there's just one little section there that's not dry. So let's dry off my wet wipe. Let's glue the flowers together. So I just put a little bit of glue in the middle. Okay, so we've got one there. And then one here. And then my third flower. Okay, let's check out our panel. Okay, I'm just gonna really quickly put some heat on it. And I love that, like, it looks so organic, the watercolor. There we go. Okay, so now we can put our pieces together. So my little piece of gold foil, and I'm just going to center that. And then my watercolor piece. By adding a little bit of heat to the back too, it is like it's not really warped. And I can decide if there's a top or bottom that I like better. Okay, so then we're going to kind of put our stuff in place. I did actually use mini dimensionals on this. I'm going to move my water, because you guys know. And so I just put them in spots where there was enough cardstock to hide them. I wanted a little bit of, so once the flower is actually on, parts are closer to the card and some parts are farther away. So I concentrated most of it towards the top and just hid them kind of where I could. You could also cut them too if you wanted to, but okay. So I have one going right there. And even these ones, I did add a little mini dimensional. So this one we'll put right here. And this one is going down here. I had to actually look at my text there. Okay. So now that I have it kind of where I want it, right, I'm actually just going to add these with glue dot today. I think I glued them yesterday when I was getting ready, but we'll just add a glue dot. Okay, and so I'm going to set my largest flower first. But I'm going to leave those other two so I can feel the spacing to make sure it's kind of where I want it to be. Okay, so like right about there. Okay, and then so I can tuck in my leaves, and I'm going to use glue dots because this is faster. So I have the one that looks like it's fire. That's what it reminds me of, like that emoji, that fire emoji. Now that I've said it, now you won't be able to unsee it. You know those things that happen. Okay, and so these are, you can also add them as like layers on the leaves. So I'm going to glue this one down. And then I can add my ones over here. And I've not like smashed anything down really hard yet, so that if I have to kind of move something, I still can. And you have to remember we've got this piece that's going to come over, so I can actually just trim this. So we're going to put it like that. Okay. Add the center to our little flowers. Right, and one I'm going to do like straight up and down. So you could see this one too is going that way. This one's going straight up and down, and I'm going to make this one go farther off to the right. like that. I'll add my last leaf in. Down there. Okay, so then this, I wanted it to go across. So I'm going to put little mini dimensionals on each side, and then the flowers are in the middle. So I can actually even put one here in the middle and then on the two sides. So I'll put one in the middle and one or two on each side. Two, I think, on over here on the left-hand side. And just one over here on the right. So just right there. Okay, and then I took, because I love in colors, I took in color dots, right? The 2025 to 2027 in color flat pearls, and added them. So I used the cloud cover to match like our flower. But like I said, I actually think the flowers would look super pretty if you like watercolored a piece of paper and then cut them out. Maybe we're gonna have to do that. So just added, and it's funny because each time, right, everything just comes out a little bit differently. So my embellishments will go in a slightly different spot. There we go. So that is the first card. So, and then we're going to do this one. So they did this one more with like deeper fall colors like Cajun Craze. And so I thought this like design was perfect for in colors. So that's what I did. So I have a cloud cover card base here. I'm going to have to put a liner in it after. So let's just see here. So I use this sentiment that says you can do anything. You could add the hooray on the inside. Okay, so this piece we're going to decorate, and this piece I made it 3 3/4 by 5.5, right? So it's going to go like this. So the first thing we're going to do is stamp on it. And I have this stamp, which is from the Gears and Texture, which is like, hey Maria, this one is so fun, right? Like this is one of those, right? Like it could live in your stash forever with the like circle that looks like a little bit like a coffee stain. There's a splat, there's the distress. I love these lines, right? And so then there's also die cuts. So I used one of the die cuts to cut out the pieces from the in colors. I don't know why their stamp sets are like slippery. So I have, right, a piece of cloud cover we're going to add. And then we have Strawberry Slush, and we have Timid Tiger, and we have Secret Sea. Okay, so we are going to do some stamping now. So each time I'm going to have to clean it because we're going to switch colors. But so I'm going to start with Timid Tiger. So I've got it at the top and the bottom. So I will do that one twice. Okay, so we've got Timid Tiger done. Okay, so we have cloud cover, Secret Sea, and strawberry slush. So next I'll do my strawberry. And I try to turn it so that like they're not all the same and a little bit different might be off the paper. Okay. Strawberry slush. Just even the name strawberry slush is fun, right? Okay, so now I'm going to do the Secret Sea and then I'll fit the cloud cover in the middle. Okay, and right, I'm flipping this one so they don't all look the same. Here we go. We'll just clean this so that I don't end up with it all over my white. Okay, so I should put the lid on my glue or it will be completely dry because it is very dry here right now. Okay, so here we go. You can adhere this. You could also pop this up on dimensionals, but I pop the sentiments up on dimensionals. So, and I'm just going to use my glass mat to measure the center. Okay, then I did glue my die cuts down. So we're going to do that next because it's going to take a second for it to dry. Good thing I closed up my glue there. And same thing with the die cuts. I just changed the direction, even though like everybody's gonna know they're exactly the same, but they're just each on the card a little bit different, right? And at a different spot on the stamping. Okay, so then I'm going to go down here to my Secret Sea piece. And I did stamp with Versamark and I added white embossing powder and I heat set them and I fussy cut them out. And I did that all before because I didn't think you guys probably really wanted to watch that. So this one I'm going to add down here. I'm just going to set my block on it for a few seconds. So these two are going in the same direction. So now I'm going to make sure that I'm putting not these ones exactly the same way. So I'm going to go like this with this one. And you can see it's not the same placement as my first one, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and then I have my cloud cover piece. And then same, I'm going to use the In Colors, the flat pearls as the like embellishment. And I kind of, well, I didn't kind of. I put the same colors in with their like families there. Okay. So I took this one. You can do anything. I stamped it in Versamark on all my colors, right? So, right, I have a cloud cover one, Timid Tiger, Secret Sea, and Summer Splash. It's not. It's Strawberry Slush. It's all those S's, right? Okay, so let's cover up our glue. Okay, put my stamp out of the way. We don't need that. We're going to use, we don't need that anymore. And I did do these with mini dimensionals. So I'm going to do the cloud cover one first. Thank goodness we have 2 years with the colors, right? So that I can actually like learn all the names. So just in time for them to change them again. That's okay. It's a nice, right? The In Colors are a nice like refresh to the color line. Everybody loves new colors. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that in there. And they might be different from where I did my originals, right? Just depending, because obviously I might have stamped in a different spot. All of those fun things. I just don't want them right all in a line. No different than why I varied the stamping spots and then the die cut spots. Timid Tiger. And I have to say, I think if I had to pick my favorite, oh, that actually would be hard. Because I really do like Secret Sea, but I'm very drawn to Summer Splash. There we go again. Strawberry Slush. So yeah, I just don't want them all like right straight up in a row. Do you guys have a favorite in color? I know lots of people have like past favorite in colors, but I don't know really any of the past in colors. So it's harder for me to pick like a past one. But if you guys have an old in color I should go look at, you tell me and I'll see if I can find it. I know sometimes they like circle back too. So that's kind of fun. I kind of want this one touching the cloud cover on that side. I do love matchy-matchy, so I love that there's like cardstock ink, right? Embellishments that like the ink colors are like nicely supported with lots of product. And then they go, and then you do see them in like the collections all year long too, right? Like it might not be all of them at the same time, right? There's one here and one there. So I love that part, like how like one color you could see in a collection that you might not expect it in. Okay, super cute. Okay, so then, like I said, I mixed and matched the dots in with their respective colors. Right, and same thing, because the stamping is different, the dots might end up different. I love these flat pearls. Okay, now we've got strawberry, because I'm also trying to remember that I have my Timid Tiger to go up there. Actually, we're going to do Timid Tiger next. And then I can fill in the strawberry slush, right? Oh, I almost put the wrong color down. There we go. Ooh, I love it. There we go. There's card number 2. Okay, so that's what I've got for you guys today. I'll just quickly show you again, right? The ones I did last week. So these ones were like inspired by the company artwork. And then this was the sketch challenge, which was super fun. I'm loving seeing all sorts of cards and scrapbook pages come out of the sketch challenge. Like I said, I think we might have to do a scrapbooking layout. And then, oh, let's see if I can. Here's your reminder that if you purchase from me this month and your order reaches $100, you also qualify for the tutorial bundle, which has the 12 projects, and they all feature the product of the month, which is nice, right? So you're not just like, you don't just have one idea, you have a multitude of ideas. And the ideas can also be interpreted into other projects. So same as last month, I took 2 of the tutorials and I redid them with different products, not the product of the month, just to show you that like a good resource is a good resource. So that's what I've got for you guys today. If you have any questions about the product of the month, the tutorials, my workshop guides, what might be coming from Stampin' Up! During the month of February, make sure to comment below and I will come back and address them as soon as possible. I hope you guys all have an awesome day. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.